Hello, and welcome to another edition of Health Matters. My name is Dr. Michael Chillemi, and on this episode, we are on location at the Health and Spine Wellness Center. And I just want to give you a few of my stories and some of the patients that we've had and what we've done. So I'm in front of what we call our wellness wall. So our wellness wall is done because our patients started saying, hey, I had such a good experience. I want to let others know. And so we decided to, you know what, let's create a wellness wall for people to tell their story. And that's the point of it, right? We want to know that we're going to get you better. And when we do get you better, I want to have a wellness wall. So you could take a picture and be on the wellness wall. So the wellness wall is about patients that have had their lives really change. And that's kind of what gave me the idea and thought about the wellness wall. We've had a lot of patients over the years, and it really started with me and why we have regen medicine in our office. So 4 years ago, I tore my ACL, MCL, medial meniscus, tore all my ligaments in my knees, called an unhappy triangle. And it is truly unhappy. You can't walk, you can't stand, you can't do anything. And you typically need a complete knee reconstruction. And for me, I didn't want to do that. I decided to see others that do regen medicine, to do PRP and human cellular tissue products. And I utilized those therapies and I saved my knee. Once I saved my knee, then I brought those protocols to this office. And we have been helping patients to change their lives for many, many patients. From patients that really had a lot of problems. So and one of the biggest ones that I'm going to tell you is I had a patient that we did a knee protocol on, some regen medicine on with physical therapy and chiropractic. This patient would walk up and down the stairs backwards because they could not physically go down the stairs. They couldn't walk up the stairs. They couldn't walk forward because of the knee pain, the amount of arthritis, and the amount of dysfunction. When we finished our injections and finished our therapy, the patient was able to function. The patient was able to walk. The patient was able to go up and down the stairs like they were meant to, right? Up and down the way you're supposed to. And the part about that always gets me is the amount of joy and the amount of relief that the patient has demonstrated, and the amount of gratitude that the patient has shown to not only myself, but everybody in this office, because it is a team effort, was incredible, right? The patient was ecstatic. The amount of hugs and thank yous was really, really, really nice for her to have. And it just completely changed her life. And we were so grateful to see that happen. And the amount of smiles, I had a patient that was all frowns and filled with despair. And we turned that around to smiles every time she came in. Every time she saw us was a big hug and smile. And to me, that was our biggest gratitude. It didn't matter about anything else, right? It's about her getting better and her changing everything is what really made the difference for her and her life. And it was so gratifying for us as a staff. I had another patient, a gentleman. He was 81 years old. He's retired, obviously. And all he wanted to do was to go fly fishing, right? Fly fishing, that's it. He couldn't raise his arm up because of the amount of arthritis and degeneration in his shoulder. The patient did our protocol. Patient had an amazing response. In 3 months, the patient was able to lift his arm up over his head. He was able to scheduling his first fishing trip. He went on that fishing trip. We do follow-up x-rays every 3, 6, and 12 months to see progress. This patient had an incredible response, which we're gonna be publishing a white paper about it, because patients changed their not only function, but changed the way their joint looked, the amount of arthritis. I've never seen anything like it before. And it was very promising. And the amount of joy that this patient had, not only in 3 months, but when he came back in 6 months and says, I'm done. I don't need you guys anymore. My arm is good. I'm fishing. I am perfect. He was so thankful. And again, the smiles, the happiness, that's what brings us joy. And that's what really, makes it all worthwhile. Why do? You do it for patients. You do it to help people. You do it to change lives on a daily basis. And that we do. I have patients that that I personally have had to carry out of their car because they couldn't physically get into the car. And we had to carry them into the office, treat them that day. Obviously, we did extensive treatment that day to get that patient up and walking. Obviously, they're still in discomfort, but when you take a patient that can't sit, can't stand, can't lay down, can't even physically get out of the car, and then you get them walking out of the office, that patient's not only a patient for life, a friend for life, and someone who's going to be a supporter, because we changed that patient's life, and within a few weeks, got that patient functioning back to 100%. And again, it's about the smiles. It's about the happiness. And when I see a patient that can't function and then they can function, that is why I do what I do, and that's why the office does what it does, is so we can take those patients, change their lives, one patient at a time. And the amount of people that we do that for is on a daily basis. It really is. Sometimes you look back and it says, wow, we did this, and this, and it changes lives. When you can save a patient, when a patient comes in and says, hey, doc, I went to this other doctor and they said I have to have this incredible surgery. I really don't want to have surgery. Can you do anything? And when you could take that patient and get them functioning and get them moving again and avoid having them to go underneath the knife for a major surgery, it is so satisfying. It is so satisfying, right? No one wants to go under surgery if you don't have to, right? So do patients need it? Yeah, sometimes patients do need it, 100%. I mean, listen, that's why, there's all kinds of different doctors out there. There's different times and points where certain people need A, B, or C. But if we can do anything to avoid a patient from getting that surgery, we try it. And when you have that happen, again, maybe it's me being selfish now, because it's these type of moments that make it worthwhile to make my hour and 20-minute trip I have each way every day to get here, right? I do that because I want to be here. I want to treat patients and I want patients to get well. And when you have some of these amazing stories of patients, it's really life-changing, that makes it incredible to see, because you really never know how much pain somebody's in. If you've never had lower back pain, you will never understand how much pain lower back pain can be. It can be debilitating. If you've never really had true lower back pain or true radiculopathy or true sciatica, you'll never understand the level of inability. You can't stand, you can't sit, you can't move. Any motion lights you up with pain, and the amount of pain is so intense for some patients that if you've never experienced it, you wouldn't understand. You'd be like, oh, that's just some back discomfort. It's not that big of a deal. If it's not that big a deal, it's because you've never really had it. Once you've had true low back pain and true pain where you can't move, you understand how significant it affects your life. I mean, people don't think about it. It's right. Okay, it's just your back. It's just your back, but you can't sit, you can't stand, you can't walk, you can't bend, you can't lift. You can't go to the bathroom because you can't turn around to take care of yourself. You can't put your shoes on, can't put your pants on, can't tie your shoes, all these things that no one thinks about. It's just a back, they'll be all right, it's just a back. No, sometimes it's much more intense than that. And the body has the wisdom to try to protect you. So a lot of times people have injuries and they don't realize that what has happened is they inflame the area. When you inflame the area, the body will protect itself. So it's going to protect you from hurting yourself more. So it prevents you from putting yourself in positions. And it's sometimes it causes inflammation. And that's the things that take long. But when you have patients that you can treat and heal, and we can get them on this wellness wall, and we walk them out with smiles and happiness, and now they're bringing their mother and their father and their brother, their sister. We have been a family practice for the last 25 plus years, and we typically have always grown by patients like you bringing in your family, right? We've done right by you. We've treated you well. We give you more than, I'm going to say, 99% of the facilities out there. We go above and beyond on a daily basis for every single patient, because I treat patients like I want to be treated. And that's kind of, one of the core principles of the office is treat patients like family. So I always say, we're going to treat them the way I would treat my mother, brother, father, cousin, anybody who's a family member. That's why I want to treat my patients, because I don't want patients to get skimped out on the right treatment, right? If I know I need to do this, and this, I'm going to do it to get the patient better. And that's how we've always really ran the facility, and that's how we've always grown. And that's why we have the wellness walls, because we go above and beyond and we get patients well on a consistent basis. So I'm going to end this wellness journey with saying, stay healthy, stay well, stay active. Treatment is available. If you're not in this area, if you can come in and see us, please be my guest. Come in, say hello. If we can help you in any way, we're right in Belleville. We can definitely do that. If you're not, please go see somebody else in your area to help you. Don't sit on the sidelines and wait for life to change, because sometimes the change is you have to go and get the change. It's not about sitting there and waiting. Sometimes you have to be proactive and look for the proper change. And it might take 1 or 2 different facilities to get, or 3 facilities to get you to the right facility. And you'll know it when you're there. But if you're in the area, come by, say hello. We'd love to see you. Till next time, Dr. Chillemi out.